Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 168 of Screw the Commute podcast. We're here with Frank Furness, and this guy is a world traveler. It's hard for me to tell what continent the guy's in all the time. He's inspiring and teaching people around the world. And I'll introduce you to him formally in a few minutes. I hope you didn't miss episode 167, Judy Carter. She's a former professional comedian. And in case you didn't know it, she actually wrote the Bible. All right. So you have to listen to her episode to see what part of the Bible she wrote. And also, please tell your friends about this podcast. You're bound to know somebody that's either starting a business or is in business and maybe struggling and needs some help. So this is the perfect place to be. And both you and your friend can get our podcast app. It's in the iTunes store. You can go to screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. And we got complete instructions to show you how to use all the fancy features so you can take us with you on the road. Put us on your cell phone and tablet. And I've got a big freebie to thank you for listening to this podcast. It's my $27 ebook, How to Automate Your Business. And just one of the tips in this ebook has saved me over 7.5 million keystrokes. And I got another little surprise over there for you with regarding to podcasts. If you're going to do a podcast, we're shooting, 168 episodes now, and I wrote a white paper about all the equipment we use, all the tips and tricks, and a lot of people are charging you thousands of dollars for that. So check it out at screwthecommute.com/automate free. Screwthecommute.com/automate free. You'll get the Automate ebook and the white paper on podcasting. Now, our sponsor this week, hey, it's me again. No kidding. The Great Internet Marketing Retreat and Joint Venture Program has been going on for about 20 years now, and 17 and a half years at the Retreat Center location, where it's a very unique program. It's a year long, but it doesn't mean you have to take a year to start making money. We've had people making money within a month. And then you get a retreat visit or an immersion weekend here at the Retreat Center, the only facility of its kind in the world where you actually live in the house with me. We study morning till night, a small group setting, and it just really, really is life-changing for people. Plus, you get a scholarship to the only licensed, dedicated internet marketing school in the world. It's imtcva.org, and it's a distance learning school that you can either use yourself or gift to somebody else. I'll tell you a little bit more about this later, but you can check everything out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, and everything we talk about today will be in our show notes at screwthecommute.com. All right, let's get to the main event. Frank Furness is a CSP. That's a very high designation in the professional speaking world, and he's a best-selling author and international sales and technology speaker. He travels between his homes in London, Spain, and Florida, and he's presented in 65 countries. He's a regular speaker at Entrepreneurs University, and his clients include the British Olympic team, sporting champions, and Sport England. Frank, are you ready to screw?
Hey, I'm ready to screw.
All right. You could screw in 3 countries and have a home in each one. So, man, it's been a long time. We've traveled kind of the world together. I mean, were we in Thailand together? Where the heck were we?
Yeah, we were in Thailand, and every year in Hollywood, we spoke for Dottie Walters when she had her big thing, and that was real fun. I used to get real jealous when I used to see your laptop being open there, and ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Just thinking every word that came out of your mouth was worth like $10 on your computer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, you're a world traveler, man. So tell everybody what you're doing now, and then we'll take you back and see how you came up through the ranks.
So right now, for me, speaking has become a lifestyle business. I love traveling. I travel all the time. I travel between my 3 homes. I like to follow the sun. So I'm doing a fair amount of keynote speaking, which I love doing. I'm also doing some consulting. And with the great tools like Zoom now, I'm also coaching a lot of international clients all over the world and training some of their teams. So I'm loving what I'm doing with all of that. But my big thing I'm doing now, Tom, is like you. I'm creating online courses. So I'm using something called Kajabi,
Mm-hmm.
and I've put my first 2 courses together, and I'm busy with one for financial advisors, which is going to be 300 videos, audios, and ebooks. So that's keeping me pretty busy.
Well, is this all on technology and sales or what?
Yeah, it's on sales and technology. So I used to be a financial advisor for a long time. So what I'm doing is just showing them how to use technology to get more sales.
So, are these specific technology programs like Salesforce, or is there a lot of different things involved, like the website and all the other things?
Yeah, everything, website. So I'm starting off with the basic sales, how to do sales, face-to-face sales, left to right brain. And then I'm going into the whole technology, how to use advanced Boolean searches to find your clients. Massive section on LinkedIn on how to link, how to do video squeeze pages with the little
Mm-hmm.
pop-up chat boxes. So all the stuff you're doing, but applying it to financial advisors. I've learned a lot from you over the years, Tom.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking, I'd be happy to license to, for maybe 50 or 100 grand a month, my ka-ching sound, if you like. I don't know if that interests you or not.
I'll give it a pass this time, just this time.
You've always been a front runner on this. I remember years ago, you were the envy of all the speakers. You had this multimedia demo. I don't know if it was a CD-ROM or what. Remember that?
Yeah, I still remember that thing. You put it in and it would do all of the stuff for you. And I still love video. So at my place in Orlando, I've set up a full green screen studio there. And I make piles and piles of videos. I have some clients that actually come in from all over the world, do some work with them there. So I love the whole video side of it. And again, for me, like you use Camtasia and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of other programs that I've learned from you. So I'm going in there, and that's where I put the whole course together. The most I did in one day was 52 videos.
Yeah, I know. We had a couple actually come here, about 2 months ago. That they were 2 days and they did 53 videos, and because we have a full studio here too. How'd you set up your studio? What's it like?
Oh, it's great. I've got 2 cameras. I might add a third to it there. I've got a full lighting setup. And I've automated it that I can actually be there by myself. And just with the little remote controls, I can get everything going over there. I've got my laptop set up. I've got auto cue, although I just use auto cue for a few prompts because I
Mm-hmm.
don't like to read anything.
Right.
And again, doing 52 in one day, that's the easy part. The preparation part was probably 2 months before that, getting everything ready, getting a whole lot of suits, different shirts lined up so it doesn't look like I'm at the same place all the time. So I just love it.
I was going to say that because in the early days, I shot like 300 videos in 1 month. And the worst part about it was that, like you just said, I had like 10 or 20 with the same shirt on, and my video guy loaded them all up at the same time. And so it just looked terrible.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like I'm doing the same video 30 times in a row. Now, do you have a switcher on the cameras? Do you just let them both run and record continuously and then edit it together?
So I have a switcher. So I just get in front and I've got the little screens facing at me,
Mm-hmm.
switch them on, get them going, hit the clapboard and just record.
And but you say you can switch between cameras with a remote?
No. So I have the cameras running at the same time.
Oh,
It's
right.
in my
So
editing that I'll do
I
the
see.
cuts.
So there's no switcher actually between them. Switcher would be something alive, make one camera work and then make the other camera work. So you just let them run and then you edit them back and forth in the
Yes.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And how high's the ceilings? You know?
The ceiling's pretty high. I've set it up in my garage there, so it's pretty high.
More than the regular 8-foot in house ceiling, huh?
Yes, yeah. So I can get a full green screen, full body drop, which works really well.
And you can get the lights higher too, because I have trouble. I don't know if you wear glasses or not, but I always have trouble if the lights are low. It hits my glasses and reflects back into the camera. So I have to play tricks with that. But the higher the ceiling, the better, because you can shoot the lights down and then they bounce away from the camera lens. So I think we got 9 feet over in our studio. Hey, and you're in Florida too. I mean, it's warm up here in Virginia Beach, but we started with quartz lights, and it would heat up. They're like 1,500 degrees.
Oh,
And
yeah, I can imagine.
now,
Jeez.
now we're at you use LED lights, so you don't have all that heat. But it's hot down in Florida. So do you run the air conditioning and then turn it off so you don't get the sound problem?
Yeah, I've got to turn it off. I've got to turn all the fans off, and that's a hassle. So I normally like to do it really early in the morning or in the evenings. During the day it can be way too hot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's we have 2 air conditioners, but again, it's not like a real TV studio where the air conditioners are silent. You got to run the heck out of them and then turn them off, and then sweat, and then turn them back on. So let's take you back. So were you entrepreneurial as a kid?
I was pretty entrepreneurial. Actually, I was a nerd as a kid. I was worse than a nerd because I looked like one, but I didn't have the brains. So, and I left school. My family wanted me to always become a professional. I grew up in a little mining town in South Africa.
Yeah.
So our family didn't have a lot of money, and I was going to become an accountant. First guy to be a real guy with a degree. After about 10 months, I got fired, just absolutely didn't fit into the corporate world. And then I did what I always wanted to do. I became a drummer in a rock band.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that was the best life ever. I did that for 7 years. We had a whole lot of number 1 hits. And then
this was in South Africa?
This is in South Africa, yes. So I traveled all over there. It was like the best life in the world. I didn't make much money, but the fringe benefits were out of this world.
That's for a different podcast.
That's a different book.
Yeah.
So, and then I got married and I had to get a real job, and I went into insurance and I did pretty well. Then quickly went into management, and I was doing quite well. After about 3 or 4 years, they were heading me for right at the top of this insurance company. And I remember sitting next to the chairman one day, and I said to him, I can't stand all of the politics that goes on in the company over here. And he says, if you can't handle the politics, get out of it. Next day, I resigned and went into my own business. And I've been in my own business ever since because I just hate the whole corporate politics, of that kind of stuff. Oh, it's just crazy.
All right. So you actually, this wasn't pre-planned, long-term exit, save up some money. This was just boom.
That was it. We went into it from there. And my wife and I had a ton of businesses. We had a video business. We had a restaurant, which was really hard work.
When was this?
This was in the 80s
Okay,
and 90s.
Pre-internet stuff.
Yeah, pre-internet stuff. We had a video shop. We had a jewelry business. We had a catering business. 1993, I moved over to London. I joined 2 other guys. We started up a financial services company, sold that 4 years later.
All right, hold on. You just kind of nonchalantly says, oh, yeah, we dumped South Africa and moved to London. All right, well, that's, if you have a family, the wife's always behind all these moves or what?
Yeah, it was a really, really hard thing. I'd always wanted to go international. In South Africa, by that time, we had a brilliant lifestyle. We had a beautiful house, 3 cars, holiday home. And we got the opportunity to move to England, and we had exchange control. We could only take what was the equivalent of about $30,000 out to start our whole life all over. And from eating out in the most luxurious restaurants, having the most wonderful holidays, we moved into London, renting a tiny little house, starting our own business, working every night, every day, every weekend. But we had to do it to actually make it all work.
All right, hold on a second. Explain that term, exchange controls. What does that mean?
So at that stage, coming out of South Africa, they limited how much money you could take out there.
Well, you still had the money, though, but you couldn't take it out? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so you just couldn't take it out. They limited you to as how much money you could take out. And it was a tiny amount. It was enough to really get my son into private school, get some rental deposits on a small house, tiny little house. And then it was just out there working and making it happen.
Wow. So you couldn't, there was like a maximum amount you could take out, or like every year you could take so much, or what?
No, at that stage, there was a maximum amount you could take out, which was like $30,000 in today's money.
Now, is that gone now, or does that still exist?
No, now you can take out a lot more. You can take out a couple of $100,000 each year.
But it's still in effect, that type of exchange control.
Yes, yeah. But it's much more lenient now. But in those days, it was really, really tight. But we just thought we had to take the opportunity. It's one shot. Let's just do it.
I don't really like to get into politics much, but isn't it a little rough for people like yourself in South Africa now, or not?
There's a lot of crime there. I go back every year because I still have some family over there.
Hmm.
So, and I'm thinking of maybe even buying a place in Cape Town. Um, and you really do have to watch it over there. Crime is worse than it ever was.
Ah,
It's not the same country I knew, but the people are still beautiful. The restaurants are great, and still one of the most amazing countries in the world.
so it's still a okay place to visit for somebody that's not from there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cape Town's still probably the number one place in the world. My
And that
favorite place,
and
Cape Town and Sydney.
they want to make sure tourists don't get hassled so that they don't lose the tourism.
Yeah, they're trying to do that, but crime is a little bit out of control there.
Uh-huh.
I wish somebody would take it in hand. When Mandela took over, he did a great job of bringing everybody together. But when the next guys came in, they had no clue, and the country just started going down, which is sad. It's my country, you know.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that. So, all right, so you're back in London and you're just fighting and crawling and scratching, you and your wife together to make businesses work, right?
Yeah, so I was with three other guys. I was a partner in the business, so a small entrepreneurial business, and they set me massive, massive targets. We were doing insurance at that stage. So my target was to do £20,000 worth of commission per month. My first month I did 14,000, second month 19. This is from not knowing a soul.
Wow.
And then I did my 20,000 every month. But if I joined any other company in England, if I just did 5,000 a month, I would have been number one in the company. So they just set my targets so high. And within 4 years, I was in the top 5 financial advisors in England and one of the top in the world. And that's when people started asking me to come to conferences and tell them how to do it. And that's how I got into the speaking
I
business.
see. I see. And does your wife do any speaking?
Well, my wife was with me in the business. She passed away about 10 years ago.
Wasn't
Yeah.
aware of that. I'm sorry to hear that.
No, but she
Yeah.
was with me in the business
Mhm.
all the time. And I'll say to a lot of entrepreneurs out there, if you can work as a couple, it's absolutely fantastic because you trust each other,
Mhm.
and you can complement each other. Because I was great at the big picture kind of things, going out there hunting. She was great at the things that I wasn't any good at, which was the whole administrative side,
Right, right.
taxes, all of that stuff.
Wow, wow. Yeah, so I'm sorry to hear that. So how do you handle that kind of stuff now?
I outsource as much as I
Mhm.
can now. So I've got a good accountant. I try and outsource everything. My place in Orlando is on a golf estate. So even there, the lawns are taken care of.
Right.
When I'm not in London, I've got people coming in, cleaning, doing my lawns, doing my gardens for me. So as much stuff as I can, I outsource. And I also try and simplify it so that I'm not bogged down with all the admin stuff.
Okay, well, this is good because you are operating around the world, but what is considered your base? And did you pick it because of a better tax structure? And how do you handle taxes in having homes in 3 different places?
London is still my main tax place. So this is where I pay all my worldwide taxes over here. And it's so like in the US, I'll have a tax number, but I'll send them my W-8 every time I do a talk over there. In other countries, there's a lot of countries I work that are tax-free, like Dubai.
Hmm.
Singapore's got a very low tax rate over there. So I've got a really smart accountant who helps me on that side, working out all of the finances.
And tell them what a W-8 is.
So W-8 is basically if I go and work in America, if you've got a W-7, you've got to give it to the company tax-wise so they can get a tax return. A W-8 really says you're in a double tax system, so your taxes will be paid in England rather than in the US.
And the U.S. is okay with that? Or it's probably reciprocal, maybe?
It's reciprocal, yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
get it.
and there's a lot of countries that have that reciprocal. I've just come from Malaysia. I'm going back again next month, working for the biggest accounting firm, and I've had to do the same kind of thing. There, I actually had to get a letter or certificate of residence to send to the firm over there for tax purposes.
I see. Now, are you getting checks when you go, or are you selling at the back of the room, or both?
No, most of the time I'm rather getting it put into accounts. So I also have accounts all over the world. So I've got bank accounts in New York. I've got bank accounts in Singapore and Jersey. So I'd rather the people put the money straight into the bank accounts for me, which makes it a lot easier. Trying to get a check, when I put a US check into my bank in London, I pay like 50% in fees, just like crazy, you
Oh
know.
my goodness. So So they direct deposit. But what I'm saying is you're getting paid to speak, not like my model that I usually speak free and then get back of the room sales.
No, I love the whole back of the room sales.
Mhm.
So a lot of them now are paying me. If I can do back of the room sales, I used to do a ton in products. I had 23
Right,
products at one stage. The problem now, nobody buys CDs anymore because
right,
people
right.
don't even have CD players. So now I'm trying to move everything online, creating the online courses, building up my lists, giving them mini courses for free, and that leading them to buy the online courses.
Right, and how is that handled? Like, if you are speaking in some other country and, if they pay online, is that considered a sale in that country or where the money's received or what?
Yes, so where the money is received in England, that's where it'll be considered the sale, and that's I'll pay tax on that. Yeah,
Oh, great, great, yeah. So, but it's still a lot of paperwork. I mean, a lot of, uh, I mean, prior to that, of those W-8 you were talking about, that seems like a hassle. But,
yeah. I've sort of just got used to it now and
yeah, I
just tried
guess,
to
yeah.
simplify it.
So tell us about, some of your online courses.
So my main one now is I've done one for business basically. So what I do mainly is I speak to entrepreneurs around the world. I
Right,
work with people like Vistage, Young Presidents Organization, Entrepreneurs Organization. So these are all business owners that I'm speaking to. And my main online course has got 185 videos and 12 ebooks. And it's all about how to use the digital side in business, but
mhm.
from a real practical kind of point of view. So giving them resources on what to use. My second one is a video course, which got about 49 videos in it. Tons of stuff. There's sort of 15 different ways you can use video in business, the whole color psychology, adding in body language and bringing all my sort of offline stuff online on how to use it. I've got a course on LinkedIn. That's about 35 videos. LinkedIn huge at the moment. I'm on 27,000 people on my LinkedIn, trying to get up to the 30,000. And then my latest one, my big one, is going to be my financial advisor, because what I have found with online courses, the more focused and the more targeted you are, the more chance you stand of really selling well. When I
Right.
go very broad, just I've got so much competition. But if I go narrow, I do way better.
Yeah, and, one thing that I've been teaching for years is that if you can put the name of the industry in the title of a course, you'll sell it like 3 times easier for 3 times the money, and it still might be 90% boilerplate and only 10% slanted to that industry. Like, I used an example of, like, time management is a $20 product. Time management for endodontists who do root canals could be a $500 product with 90% of the same information. So that's one little trick I use, is put the name of the group in the title.
Yeah, well, my course I put together for them, it's called Sales Strategies for Financial Advisors.
Yeah,
So
perfect. Yeah, but still, the sales strategies, probably a lot of that could be used for any industry, and just make another course for some other industry. Just
oh,
copy.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just taken a whole lot of the online course and
Hmm.
I'll just pull it into that there. And they're still going to think, same kind of course.
What's the best course for real small businesses that you have?
So that's what I'm putting together at the moment, which is going to be just sales strategies for small business. That one will be
There.
ready in about
See,
6 months' time.
small business. I told you, you put the title in there. So
But for them right now would be the LinkedIn and the video course. And I know
LinkedIn,
you're going to
yeah.
put the links out for those.
Yeah, so we'll have the links in the show notes for those courses, and so how long does it take them to go through one of your courses, like
So
the
the
LinkedIn
video,
course, let's say?
so the LinkedIn course they'll be able to do in about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay,
The video will take them a couple of days, and the full online course will take them about 2 weeks.
and what will be the results if they implement what that you teach them in the LinkedIn course?
So mine is very practical. So it's if anyone's listening now, just type in sales technology speaker. And I own that term. So without any SEO, everywhere I go in the world, China, Malaysia, or whatever, I own that front page because of two things. LinkedIn now has become one of the big search engines. So I show them how to optimize
Hmm.
LinkedIn to get onto the first page of Google. And the second thing, of course, is YouTube. every week I put up 1 or 2 videos onto YouTube purely for SEO. You get the right kind of keywords into the title, description, and the tags. All of a sudden you start appearing on the front page. So a lot of it is SEO for LinkedIn. And then I also teach them push-pull marketing. So how to push themselves out there. And then the pulling is how to go in, do the advanced Google searches, find the right kind of targeted people you want to connect with. I then also have about 5 or 6 different really fantastic messages that they can put in there to connect with people. Once somebody actually looks at their profile, following up, and there they would go in and they'd have a video squeeze page with the chat box, which is way more effective than just a normal kind of thing. And again, I hire a guy in India, pay him $100 a month, and he does all of that kind of stuff that I should be doing. So he targets 100 people a week for me. It's the old law of averages in sales. He targets 100 people, 30 will connect with me, 3 will turn into good leads, and 1 will turn into a sale. But he's doing the hard work for me. Somebody looks at my profile, he sends out the video squeeze page to them. So all the things I should be doing, but I know I won't be doing, I'd rather be smoking a cigar on a beach, I get him to do.
That's good. So that's a very valuable course. So that one's ready to go right now, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So anything crazy, bizarre happened to you on the road in all these travels of yours?
There's stacks of things that happened to me, especially with in the different countries. I remember once going to China. I go there quite often. I've just come back from a big Asian trip, and they want to entertain you. And they gave me a bowl of soup, and in it was this big eye that was staring at me. And you got to eat it, otherwise they lose face.
Right, exactly. You can't they lose face and lose eyes. Yeah.
I remember taking this thing and it squelched into my mouth and they all clapped. And the next thing there was another plate with another eye, So.
They wanted to keep their eye on you. So
they were definitely keeping the eye in me.
I had the same thing with shark fin soup. And I put it in my mouth and I didn't want to swallow. I can't spit it out. I just sat there and started sweating.
Yeah. So with the traveling, all that. I mean, there's all kinds of things. I remember in Japan, I had a funny thing. I got lost. And I remember when I was young, I used to do a lot of karate. And before you get into a fight, you bow and you say, os.
Right.
And I saw this old guy, about 93 years old, walked up to him and I thought, let me be polite and just, show some respect. So I bowed and I said, os. And he looked at me with big eyes and I said, let me try it again. Bowed. Said, Os, can you please give me some directions? And got up and he shuffled off, got back to the hotel. And I told the manager about the story. And he says, no, you're crazy. That means really, I challenge you to a friendly fight.
Oh, man. Hey, speaking of China, do you bother to try to get into Baidu search engine? That's the biggest one they have.
I haven't tried to do that, but I'll tell you, I was just over there now. I've just done a big trip. I went to Hong Kong, then went to China, to Chengdu. From there, I went to, I did 10 talks in Malaysia and then Thailand. But in China, everything is blocked.
Right.
So,
right, yeah.
And the only thing that really works there is WeChat. WeChat works for absolutely everything. You pay for your buses, your trains, your food. Everything is on WeChat. So
spell that
anyone
for us? Please spell that for us. WeChat?
Yeah, WeChat. WeChat.
Oh, WeChat. Okay. Now, keep your eyes open for me and maybe for yourself too. It is worth it to get, for me anyway, to get in Baidu search engine for my school. I have, a lot of Chinese people might want to study distance learning in the United States. And I was reading up on how to do it, and you kind of, like a lot of things in China, you have to get somebody local to help you. So you have to get like a local cell phone number. So if you have any connections over there that's reputable, then maybe could help me or help us out to get into Baidu. That's a pretty big search engine.
Oh, I'll check that out for you.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's daughter is actually studying there.
Yeah, so if we can do that. Of course, we have to have a page translated into Chinese, but that's not too much trouble. But it's that's a lot of people that could be exposed to it. So
the market is huge there, and they're hungry for knowledge at the moment.
Exactly. So it might be worth it for both of us. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
what do you like best working for yourself, and what's the worst part?
The best thing is the freedom. I love the freedom. I work when I want to. I love traveling. That's the other biggest thing. I'm always on the road. I'm back in Malaysia again next month. Then I'm back in the States for 3 months doing a cruise to South America I'm speaking on. What I also love is the earning potential, because as hard as you want to work, that's what you can earn. And you'll earn way more than you'll ever earn in any company, because there you can work as hard as you want. My son and daughter-in-law are both lawyers. They kill themselves working. But if they were working for themselves, they'd be earning 10 times
Right,
more.
exactly, yeah.
Worst part, I suppose, sometimes it can be a bit lonely. Although with my traveling, I'm always with people. So sometimes I just sort of really enjoy my freedom and being by myself. But that's the only part really for me sometimes can be that loneliness when I'm on the road.
Well, the one thing I always worried about, so this is a good chance to ask you about it. I'm a voracious reader, and before Kindle, came around, I have like 3 libraries in my retreat center. I'm just a book freak. And I always wondered, if you live in 3 places, where do you keep your favorite books? Where do you keep your favorite clothes? So as soon as you go to get do you buy 3 of everything and put it all in the place?
Well, the books, that's easy because that just goes on to Kindle.
Well, now,
That's what
yeah.
I love. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do have 3 sets of clothes everywhere. So I virtually just take my laptop with me. And in America and London, I've got full setup of everything electronic wise. So
Uh-huh.
that works really well.
Yeah, yeah. I always wondered how your favorite possessions, you have to have 3 of them, or you're always somewhere where it isn't.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and the thing is, you can have a closet full of great clothes. You always wear your favorites, the same ones you wear all the
Right.
time.
So, all right, well, we got to take a brief sponsor break. And we come back, we're going to ask Frank what's a typical day look like for him, which is probably going to be crazy the way he travels, and how he stays motivated. Folks, around the year 2000, I kind of turned the internet world on its head, because people at my level were charging 50 or 100 grand up front to teach you the things that they knew. And half of the people were ripoffs anyway. And they once they got all their money, they wouldn't help you in the first place. So I thought, this is just wrong. And it's putting small business, which I'm a small business advocate, at risk. They're putting all that money out. So I kind of turned the world on its head and made the gurus mad, which I don't really care. And I charged a relatively small entry fee to my program, and then a percentage of profits that's capped, so you're not stuck with me forever. So currently, it's the cap is $50,000. So for me to get my 50,000, you got to clear 200,000, and so people really like that idea. And 1,700 students later, and 20 years later, we're still going strong at the retreat center here. But most of the training is distance learning, but it's one-on-one. That's another thing. The group coaches are kind of lazy, in my opinion. And if you're advanced, you don't want to hear the basic stuff. And if you're basic, you get lost if I'm talking advanced stuff. So everything with myself and my whole crew of people here, subject matter experts, is one-on-one tutoring. We'll take over your screen if we have to, show you where to click, and be with you the entire time. So nobody else on earth gives that kind of service, I can assure you. So check everything out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, and get in touch if you have any questions. All right, let's get back to the main event. Frank Furness is here, and Frank is a world traveler, a speaker, and just a wonderful, wonderfully nice guy. So Frank, I know it's tough, but tell us how it is for you. I mean, you travel quite a bit, but what's a typical day look like for you?
So in the different countries, I have different typical days. And if I'm on the road traveling, I always like to try and get into the gym, and I always add some extra sightseeing. But if I'm working from home, so if I'm not speaking in the UK, my typical day is 6:30, I'm in the gym, trying to keep my body in shape, and come back about 8:30, have some breakfast, and then get into working on the programs. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights, I'm either playing tennis or paddle. I love tennis. And Wednesday night, I go down to a local jam session and play drums. And on the weekends, I'm with my lady, so that's good. when I'm in Spain, it's different. There's a game called Paddle, which is the most amazing game on the planet. In fact, one of the fastest growing games. And it's a mixture between tennis and squash. So I play that every day for 3 hours.
Wow.
And then also there's 3 jam sessions going on a week there. So I'm playing a lot of drums out there. I don't get to do that much work.
What makes you pick where you're going to be staying? Like, do you like gang a bunch of speeches together in the States and then in certain parts of Europe and so forth? What makes you decide where you're going to be staying?
Sunshine. I just follow the sun. So I hate the cold. So I'm always just following the sun. I don't like to be in a cold place. If it's going to be cold, then I'm going to either be in Spain or I'm going to be in Florida. Like right now, we've got the summer out here in London. So it's pretty good most of the time. And I can get out there, play my sport, do the things I want to do. But I also do take off a lot of time. So I believe in work hard, play hard. And as entrepreneurs, I think that's a good strategy. Work really, really hard, but also play hard. Reward yourself when you've done well.
So do you pass up jobs in cold places?
No. if the money is good, the money wins.
Yeah, the money's hot or keep you warm.
I'll go and be cold for a couple of days and then fly back to the sunshine again.
Okay, all right. Now we know where you're coming from. So are you aware that I'm the largest person ever in history to create and star in a tennis training video?
I remember your
Tennis.
Fatsotennis.com. You know what? I show that to everybody. Everyone I see when I'm speaking, I say, like, Tom Anton is the master of internet marketing. You've got to go and take a look at his stuff. And I pull up that site. Aren't you eating a pizza while you play there?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the coolest video ever.
Yeah, but you don't have the DVDs, do you?
No,
All right, I'm going to send them to you because they're half funny because you remember that movie with Kevin Costner? It was a golf movie called Tin Cup. You ever?
Yes. Yeah, I remember
where
that.
he was kind of losing his mojo and so he was trying all these gadgets, to help him get his game back, right? So there's loads of those for tennis too, and they're just some are just hysterical. Like for instance, the actual title is "Winning Tennis for the Overweight and Hopelessly Out of Shape." Right? And so you can put this suction cup on the end of your racket handle. So, and then you can go down and pick the ball up so you don't have to bend over.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, you get me your address and I'll send it to you when we're done here.
You play tennis?
Well, I haven't played since I got hurt. I told you about my accident, but I'll be back as soon as I'm back in the saddle. I'll be back. Yeah, I was a tennis nut. I mean, still am, but that kind of put me out of commission. And for those of you listening, I was in a hunting accident, and no, I didn't get shot. I just slipped and fell on a log like a big dummy. But anyway, yeah, I'm a tennis nut. And somebody I was interviewing on here was talking about pickleball. Did you ever hear of that?
Yeah, I've seen pickleball. So paddle's similar to that, but I just enjoy paddle a lot more. So pickleball's more for the older guys, lower net, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't even know what either one of them is, but I'm going to look them up when we get off here.
Yeah, pickleball's probably the fastest growing game in the States at the moment.
Wow, yes. Okay, so what keeps you motivated, man?
I think a lot of reading. Like you, I'm always reading 4 or 5 books at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm always, I think people make a fortune out of me. You know, those guys that you say selling online courses about everything. I buy just about every course. 99% are rubbish, but in amongst those, I find 1 or 2 great things. I follow some great people like Lon Naylor on video marketing. There's 3 or 4 people I follow on each of the internet kind of stuff and sales stuff. And that really keeps me motivated. But I also have a close circle of good entrepreneurial friends who are really motivated. We all support each other. We speak to each other. If I've got a hassle, I can phone them. They'll help me with it. Equally, they do the same kind of thing. We also refer clients to each other.
It's like a mastermind group or what?
Yeah, it's almost like a mastermind kind of group. So we speak to each other. We don't actually physically get together. Now and then we might and just get drunk so we don't speak about anything. So it's always better just to do it on Zoom.
Yeah, it's less chance of getting a DUI.
So yeah, that's how I keep myself motivated, by reading, speaking to a lot of other good friends, and just following some good programs online.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks so much, man, for taking the time out of your schedule to inspire these folks. I mean, folks, this guy is the real deal. How long have we known each other? I don't know, 20 plus
Whoa,
years.
25 years must be.
25 years, yeah, because Thailand was, I think, probably 25 years ago. But yeah, he's the real deal. Wonderful. Never heard a bad word about him. Only great things, and he's obviously doing his thing. Living in 3 countries and speaking all around the world. So thanks again, Frank, for inspiring. And everybody, check out the show notes and go get that LinkedIn course. I haven't had a real emphasis on LinkedIn for myself, but I'm sure that with as many followers as Frank has, and as good as every course I've ever seen is, that would be a worthwhile investment for you. So yeah, we'll put it in the show notes wherever they. Make sure you click over the show notes, and you'll get the exact link to take you right to that course. Right, Frank?
Yeah, that's it. And if anyone's got any queries, just drop me a line, frank@frankfurness.com. F-U-R-N-E-S-S.
Yeah, F-U-R-N-E-S-S. All right. So thanks again, Frank, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode.